Hi, I'm Katie and this is Cooking with Katie. Today we'll be making Welcome back to Cooking with Katie. I'm Katie and today we will be making fresh egg pasta to go along with an Alfredo sauce that we will be making on the next show. When I was in Italy over the summer, I learned that each of the restaurants there actually makes their pasta for their menu fresh every day because it makes it so much better. And it was really, really awesome to be able to eat that. So today you will be able to have a little bit of the authentic Italy in your home. So you always want to remember to start off with practicing safe food habits. So I'm going to take my food and get it out of the way and wipe down my working area to make sure it's nice and sanitized. And now I'm going to be washing my hands. Alrighty, so let's get started. You're going to want the basic ingredients, which is 2 types of flour. You can have regular flour and semolina flour. And you will also need 3 eggs and 2 tablespoons of olive oil, along with just a pinch of salt. So you're going to start by taking 2 cups of the flour, so roughly 1 cup of each, and you want to sift it first so it's really nice and light and airy, because it'll make the pasta a lot better if you do that, because it'll be really light. And you're going to make it into a little bit of a mound because you're going to need to make a well with your flour to so you're able to mix in the egg and the olive oil correctly. Alright, so now you're just going to make a well by just, obviously making a well just like a circular area in the middle of the flour. Now you're going to make sure that the sides of the well are nice and thick, because otherwise your egg or olive oil could break loose and that would be really bad. So now you're just going to take 3 eggs and I want to crack them first just to make sure that you're not going to get any shell into it, because that could be potentially dangerous. So you want to incorporate the flour very slowly, otherwise it'll become too overpowering for the liquid in it. The flour will naturally add itself as you're mixing it because it'll just fall down, but you want to make sure that you add it slowly, otherwise it'll just get too lumpy too fast and it won't work well enough. You just kind of do it in like a circular motion. So eventually your dough, it'll turn into more of a dough, and at this point you're just going to start kneading, and you want to make sure that you have a lot of flour because it will be very sticky at first, and it'll be really like almost fragile in a way because it's still kind of liquidy, but you just have to get the rest of the flour incorporated into it. And a lot of the flour will just be used for making sure that it doesn't stick to your working area. So don't be alarmed if you have extra flour, because clearly I do. So the basic knead is just using your palm to push down on the dough to mix it more. It helps with getting out air bubbles, so that if you're gonna, for doughs, if you have to knead a dough, it helps get out air bubbles so that it won't, maybe not necessarily burst when it's in the oven, but just to relieve the air pockets, just because it cooks more evenly that way. And you're just gonna move your, you're gonna bring the dough back with your fingertips, and then push it back out with the heel of your hand for about, I'd say, 8 to 10 minutes. You're gonna knead the dough just until it gets really like smooth and elasticy is the best way to do it. Alright, now that the dough is done, you see that it's in a nice round ball. Well, that's because I did it that way, but when you're done kneading, you want to make sure that you let your pasta dough rest, otherwise it'll get too tough and you won't be able to work with it that well, and it won't taste very good. So when you're done, you're just going to take a regular bowl, doesn't really matter what kind, and you want to just take a little bit of olive oil in your hand, and just kind of rub the dough in it, just because it'll be easier to cut later if you do that. So then you're just going to put it in a bowl and usually cover with some kind of saran wrap, just to let it rest for a while. And after it's done resting, you can cut it into any shape you want. Alright, so now that your dough has sat for about 45 to 60 minutes, you can start rolling it out. So you just take a regular rolling pin and make sure that there's flour down on your surface so that it doesn't stick to it or anything. You're just going to roll it out. It doesn't really matter what kind of shape it's in, but just so it's nice and it's actually kind of thin. Well, yeah, so it's thinner, about 1/8 of an inch thick. So now that you have your dough all rolled out, you can either use a regular pasta cutter if you have one, or a pizza cutter works just as well. And so we can do a bunch of different cuts with it. You can start doing a bow tie. So if it's kind of misshaped or whatever, it doesn't really matter. Just kind of cut off or cut it into like squares. You can just move the rest of your dough you can use later off to the side. So you have just like a square, just like this, used for it, and then all you do is pinch it right in the middle. And this one's kind of big, but you have your bow tie. Okay, so now that we've done a little bit of the bow tie, you can take the rest of your pasta and you can just cut it into long strips, making sure that they're, well, relatively even. You can do like linguine, and after you're done with all of that, you're just gonna let them sit for about 20 minutes just so that they dry out, and then you can just cook them right away, or you can just put them into a bag and put them in the freezer so that they stay for later, and just thaw them and put them right in some water when you're done. And you can just cook them until they're al dente, or right until you think that they're good to eat. Thanks for watching Cooking with Katie. Tune in next time when we make our Alfredo sauce to go along with our pasta.